Yes. And good afternoon, fellow members. This afternoon, I want to thank the opportunity to present the topic of leaders, where we prepare our leaders for today and tomorrow. In today's talk, I'll start with what's keeping the CEO up at night. And according to Global Leadership Forum in 2024, they surveyed 233 CEOs all over the world. And these are the top five concerns they had. Number one, at 54%, attracting and retaining talent, especially in the global economy right now when you put the tariffs people working remotely. Having talent far and wide is accessible to everyone. How do we compete against other big companies to hire the best talent? And how do we retain the best talent? Number two, at 52%, global recession is slowing down economies with concern. How do we continue to get our market share and stay competitive with the market? Number three, at 42%, navigating uncertainty. That's the concern. With a lot of unknown, how do we prepare our business to be sustainable? And last but not the least, at 34% is driving innovation. As you can see, talent management and economy are the top line worry of a CEO. So I'm sharing the five things we can do to actually make a change and help the leader tomorrow. Number one, identifying and developing talent. Many times, talent development is a one-off thing. It's a labor per month, labor per year. It needs to be a strategic goal. We need to make it imperative, important to us, because with a competitive market, we cannot work people if we can't train them and we can't keep them engaged. So how do we do that? Set up a talent management program initiative as part of the global overall strategy, making sure that there's budget and support for it. The next step you do is identify the top talent in your organization. Who are top talent? While doing that, you also need to identify critical roles. Because critical roles are the number one thing you need to think about in terms of talent. Once you identify the top talent, you now have to think about assessing their skills and maybe identifying gaps, if there's any gaps. If there's any gaps, work with them, create training program to help them be able to improve those. Next step, create a development plan. All talent pool member need to have a development plan. And last but not the least, we need to make sure that this is something that measured across the enterprise and not just in one-off thing. And therefore, we need to keep on going every day. The second thing we can do is improve scientific thinking. How do we do that? Encourage big picture thinking. A lot of times we get stuck with the process, with the project we're working on. We want our people to step back and think about the vision and the value that they're working on. Foster a culture of curiosity. Encourage people to innovate. Encourage people to experiment. Provide opportunity for them to partner with one another. And last but not the least in this area, provide a safe space for them to be able to voice their concerns and raise any issue that they might have, and also take calculated risks. Number three, managing change. About the only thing that's constant in our life is change. I think we want to build companies that are change ready. How do we do that? We must communicate the why of why we're doing change. We need to foster a growth mindset in our organization. We also need to model the way. As a leader, you can't say something but not do it. So it's really important for us to model the way. Empowering our people through involvement, through listening to them, being empathic about what we're doing. And last but not the least, provide continuous improvement and learning. Provide appropriate support and training. At times when things get tough, training budget goes away. Make sure you allocate what's needed. Number four, what we can do better is decision making and create decision of work. Right? It's not about who yelled the most, who screamed the most, get the most budget. Equip the leaders with proper decision-making methodology. Encourage them to focus on data-driven decision-making. Help them focus on high impact, low impact. Sometimes you're probably doing your busy, that doesn't mean it adds the most value to the organization. And last but not least, the most effective way of doing this is peer learning. Create a cohort of people cross-functional from your organization in different silos and bring them together to experiment and solve problems in your organization. Last but not least, number 5, embracing AI. AI is here to stay. If you don't embrace it, your company will disappear in a couple of years. As a leader, we need to understand AI. We need to learn what AI is all about. We need not follow the next person, the next company, what they're doing. We need to create a vision of what we want to do with AI. How is it relevant to our business? And how must we implement it? Next, you need to set a clear vision of what that AI implementation is going to achieve. What value is going to add to your business and to your people. And then you need to focus also on ethical consideration. AI could go bad and used improperly. Make sure you have proper guardrail and support to make sure you're doing the right things. And make sure that people are trained and given the support they needed. And last but not the least, celebrate success and quick wins. Takeaway for today's talk is we must create a plan. We must create it today. Actually, you need to create it yesterday, but today was the best day to do it. You need to create a leadership program to help your people grow and develop. If you don't, they're going to leave. It costs you 30% of your salary to hire someone to take over your job, not to mention loss of productivity. You need to move your organization in the right direction. Sometimes this is the hardest thing to do, but you need to do it because if you don't, people are going to leave. And then last but not the least, be strategic, support your people, fund the project, and making sure every single leader in the organization is held accountable for making it happen. If you do this, what are the outcomes? 3 times more likely that your people and top talent will stay engaged because they know that you innovated, you care about them, you train them. 2 times more likely to make sure they don't get burned out. Burnout is the number one problem we have now these days. People working long. And last but not the least, you're 2 times better in dealing with ambiguous environment and situation because your people are well trained and well prepared. Thank you very much.